In the next few seconds, you're about to discover something most car buyers get completely wrong, and it could save you thousands of dollars or cost you just as much if you ignore it. Diesel or petrol? Power or efficiency? Luxury or practicality? Today's podcast is not just a conversation. It's a face-to-face showdown between two perspectives that might completely change how you choose your next car. The camera opens on a modern studio setup. Soft lighting, two chairs facing each other, microphones ready. Across from her sits a knowledgeable male guest, calm but ready, someone who clearly knows cars inside out. Welcome back to the podcast, she begins with energy. Today we're diving into one of the most confusing and important topics for car buyers, choosing between diesel and petrol engines. And we're doing it through the lens of one of the top cars in the USA market right now. So let's get straight into it. The guest nods, absolutely. And honestly, this is a debate that never really ends, but today we'll break it down in a way that actually helps people decide. She smiles. Perfect. So first things first, when we say top car in the USA, what are we talking about here? He leans forward slightly. We're talking about a full-size SUV that dominates the American market. Something powerful, reliable, luxurious, and practical. Think of a vehicle that performs both on highways and rough terrains. A car that families trust, but also one that delivers serious performance. All right, she says, intrigued. Now let's talk engines. Diesel versus petrol. This is where most people get confused. Start simple, what's the real difference? He takes a breath. At the core level, petrol engines use spark plugs to ignite the fuel-air mixture, while diesel engines rely on compression. Diesel engines compress air to a much higher level, which ignites the fuel without a spark. This difference changes everything: performance, efficiency, cost, and even driving feel. She nods thoughtfully. So what does that mean for the average driver? It means diesel engines are generally more fuel efficient and provide more torque. Torque is what gives you that strong pulling power, perfect for heavy vehicles like SUVs. Petrol engines, on the other hand, are smoother, quicker to accelerate, and often quieter. She raises an eyebrow. So from someone who drives mostly in the city? Petrol, he answers instantly, no question. They warm up faster and maintenance is usually simpler. And what about long drives? She asks. Diesel shines there. If you're driving long distances regularly, diesel engines give you better mileage and lower fuel consumption over time. She leans back slightly, impressed. Okay, now let's talk numbers. People love numbers. What kind of average are we looking at? He smiles. Sure, a petrol version of a full-size SUV in the USA might give you around 8 to 10 kilometers per liter, depending on driving conditions. A diesel version of a similar vehicle can go up to 12 to 15 kilometers per liter. That's a significant difference, especially over time. She nods. That adds up fast. Exactly, he says. Fuel efficiency becomes a major factor when you calculate yearly expenses. She leans forward again, her tone slightly sharper. But diesel cars are more expensive, right? Yes, he admits. Diesel vehicles typically have a higher upfront cost. The engine itself is built stronger because it handles higher compression. That means durability, but also higher initial price. So it's like paying more now to save later? She asks. Exactly. If you drive a lot, diesel pays off. If you don't, petrol makes more sense. She smiles. Now let's talk about power and performance. He laughs lightly. That wow feeling usually comes from petrol engines. They rev higher, accelerate faster, and feel more responsive. But diesel engines deliver something different: raw power. They're not about speed, they're about strength. Like towing? She asks. Exactly. If you're towing trailers, carrying heavy loads, or driving off-road, diesel is unbeatable. She nods, then shifts the conversation. Let's move inside the car. Interior, because honestly, that's where people spend most of their time. He smiles. Modern SUVs in the USA are all about comfort and technology. Whether petrol or diesel, you're getting premium leather seats, large infotainment screens, digital dashboards, ambient lighting, and advanced driver assistance systems. She raises her hand slightly. But does the engine type affect the interior experience? Good question, he says. Yes, slightly. Diesel engines tend to be noisier and vibrate more, especially in older models. But modern engineering has reduced that gap significantly. Still, petrol engines are generally quieter and smoother inside the cabin. She nods. So if someone values a silent luxury feel, petrol? Exactly. She pauses for a moment, then asks, what about maintenance? This is where things get real. He chuckles. Yes, this is where people start paying attention. They also require high-quality fuel and proper maintenance. Petrol engines are simpler and usually cheaper to maintain. So diesel is strong but demanding? She summarizes. Perfectly said. She smiles confidently. Now the big question, if you had to recommend one, what would it be? He leans back, thinking. It depends on the user. If you're someone who drives long distances, needs power, wants better fuel efficiency, go for diesel. But if you're a city driver, wants smoother rides, lower upfront cost, and less maintenance hassle, petrol is the better choice. She nods slowly, then looks directly into the camera. So there's no one-size-fits-all answer. Exactly, he says. The best car is the one that fits your lifestyle. She smiles, clearly satisfied. I love that. There's a brief pause as both of them reflect on the discussion. The atmosphere feels real, natural, like a genuine conversation, not a scripted show. She leans forward again, energy rising. Before we wrap this up, let's do a quick rapid fire. He smiles. Let's do it. Fuel efficiency? Diesel, smooth driving? Petrol, long distance travel? Diesel, city driving? Petrol, maintenance cost? Petrol, power and torque? Diesel, she laughs. That was quick. He laughs too. Years of experience. She turns back to the camera, her tone now more engaging and direct. So there you have it. Diesel versus petrol, not just a debate, but a decision that depends on you, your lifestyle, your driving habits, your priorities. She pauses slightly, letting the message sink in. If this podcast helped you even a little bit, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. Tell us what you prefer, diesel or petrol, and why. The guest nods. And if you're planning to buy a car soon, don't rush, do your research. Because the right choice today can save you money, time, and stress tomorrow. She smiles warmly. We'll be back with more real conversations, more insights, and more value. Until then, drive safe, choose smart, and stay informed. The camera slowly fades out as soft music plays, leaving the audience not just entertained, but informed and ready to make a smarter decision.